This is the 5th 5-minute reflection. Some of you, from time to time, will have picked up a book of the Buddha's teachings. All in all, practical, reasonable, applicable in the daily life, and as the Buddha said, you can see through your own experience. But one must trust, you and I, we've got to trust in our experience. Some of the themes that the Buddha explores are incredibly deep, as he himself said, hard to comprehend, hard to understand. And one of them is this whole teaching of non-self, anatta, A-N-A-T-T-A, in the Pali language. That's the language that the Buddha spoke. No, non-self? What on earth does that mean? So we try to see through our own experience, attend a bit more carefully, and look at life a little bit fresh, a little bit differently. So what's the usual way of looking at things? What's typical? What do I say, self? This is myself. What am I referring to? So right now, I'm sitting on a chair, sitting in front of the camera. You might be watching for a couple of minutes on YouTube. And then you say, this is Christopher. He's giving a 5-minute reflection. Who is Christopher? Who is this person, this self? You say, well, it's the body. He's sitting there. There are his feelings. There are his perceptions, what he's sharing with you. There's the thoughts and reflection that took place. And there's the consciousness. He's alive, he's not dead, he's conscious. So this is, as it were, who I am. This is myself. Then the Buddha has come in, rather ruthlessly, forthrightly, and said, stop, take a look, question all of this. Is it true? Just because we keep repeating it, because it seems obvious? A few centuries ago, the world, it was obvious the world was flat with a few hills in it. A few centuries ago, the stars were shining. But then we begin to know differently. So let's take the body for a moment. You say, I am sitting here. The eye can't sit here, but the body does. And I can give attention to the body. The feelings, the vibrations, the sensations, the form, the shape, the age, the colour, the weight, the size. I can look at it. That which I can look at, give attention to, is not myself, is not self. Yes, there's a close relationship. Yes, there's an intimacy with, but it's an object of interest, it's an object of attention. I can talk about it, I can relate to it, I can communicate about it. Therefore it's not myself, it's an object of interest. Could the same apply with the rest of us? Look at the feelings. Right now I'm sitting here, I'm feeling happy to have the opportunity to talk to you. I can experience these feelings of energy and interest, these feelings of warmth. I can observe them, I can notice them. They're an object of interest. That which is an object is not me, not myself, it's not self. It's as much an object as the stars and the earth and the material world, sights and sounds. Same way for the body, same way for the feelings, same way for all of the thoughts. Say, I am thinking, I am thinking. I doesn't think. I get located in the thinking. But thoughts just arise. They come, they stay, they go. They blow around in our mind like the leaves blow around in the autumn. Sometimes there's loads of them, thoughts. Sometimes there's few. We can't honestly say any of us have got that much control over them. just thinking. But the I, the self, arises and says, I am thinking. Hey, wait a minute, there is just thinking going on. It's not self, it's just thinking going on. So if body is not myself, feelings are not myself, perceptions and views and opinions and thoughts are not myself, then there's the consciousness. That means being conscious of it all. And sometimes we are very conscious, so we land in the consciousness. Oh, I'm mindful, that's being conscious. I am meditating, it's being very conscious. But sometimes we're not very conscious, and then the I, as it were, falls out of there. So the understanding of not self is to be clear, body is not myself, not who I am, not mine. Feelings are not myself, not who I am, not mine. Perceptions are not myself, not who I am, not mine. Thoughts, not me, not myself, not who I am. Consciousness, not me, not myself, not who I am. There's no alienation. We're definitely not interested in cutting ourselves off from that, but just to see and recognize and acknowledge quietly and clearly that none of that, body, feelings, minds, perceptions and thoughts, are worth grasping onto, are worth building self up upon. What we find in a relaxed acknowledgement of body, heart, mind, consciousness as objects of interest, not as me, not as myself, not who I am, what we find is something rather freeing about it. We're certainly very respectful to all that makes up the human being. We're certainly very respectful to all the presentations. But we've understood something well and clearly. This is life. This is nature arising. This is what's revealing and showing itself, what is becoming moment to moment. But it's not me, not myself, not who I am. And that's rather releasing and joyful. And simultaneously, because we're caring beings, we take care. We look after, we pay respect to. Keep reflecting on not self. It's precious, it's valuable, it's illuminating, it wakes us up. And it's not easy to deeply comprehend, it's not easy to deeply understand. Keep reflecting. Thank you for listening.